I don't want to be at the mercy of anybody. Yeah, I'll ask for help, but I think that is a very precarious place to be. And I eat for freedom. The way we eat gives us freedom. And freedom is the ability to still drive, to wipe my own butt, to make my own bed, to do my own dishes, to live in my own house. These are things that give me freedom, the choices I'm making every day.
Welcome to Lessons from Living. I am your host, Beth Graham. If you missed the first half of Ally Phillip's interview, be sure to go back and catch it. We're picking up today where she shares about reinventing herself in her 60s. Let's go. And then you talk about remaking yourself in your 60s.
I did.
Tell us about that.
I had no plan. It was just like, I've always been, okay, I'll try that. Okay, let's do it. I'm up for it. I've always been adventurous. So we were living in Boston. Ben had taken a job there. And when we moved from South Carolina to Boston, I didn't want to take the licensing exam and go into being Dr. Alice again. I thought, I am 60 years old. I want to live in the city. And I don't want to have a car, so we didn't take a car. We rented an apartment. I walked everywhere. And about the first 10 months, I started getting really depressed. It was like, God, what am I doing here? Nobody knows me. I was like invisible, So I said, I cannot spiral down into a depression and be a whiny wife while he's working his bahootie off. And, from 6 a.m. in the morning till 8 at night. So I said, and remember, I was 60 years old. So I said, I'm going to do what I love to do. I have always loved performing. I'm going to take acting lessons. Found me an acting coach in Wellesley, started taking acting lessons, and we became friends, and I'd work in the studio with her, and then auditions and all. And one of the things I auditioned for was MasterChef, the Fox Network show. First, I made it to the semifinals, the first round, and didn't get chosen. Next year it came around, I went, may as well throw my hat in the ring again, try it again. You never know. You want to be in the balcony of life, you want to be on the field playing. So I said, okay, I'll try it again. And I got cast. So I went out to LA, and it was 2 weeks, and I got cut off at the knees and hammered by Gordon Ramsay and the team. And so I didn't get an apron and I didn't make it. But what I did was I figured out. I looked around at all these 100 people there. I was the oldest one. And I went, I'm as good as any of these people in the kitchen. I can cook as good as them. Some of them were professional chefs. So after that, I thought, I think I'll start sharing my recipes. So Facebook was just coming on board. So, you start a Facebook account. I started taking these little, almost a brownie camera pictures and sharing recipes. And then it was like, people were asking for the recipe. And I went, oh, God, you want the recipe? So I made myself a Wix website, is how you can make your.
Yes, ma'am.
I just I muddled my way through. It's like, I had no idea what I was doing, Beth. And one thing led to another, and then it started growing, and then I started entering food competitions. You see this on Facebook, and I went, I can do this. And I started winning them. It was like, dang, I'm winning them. I'm winning, $25,000, $10,000. And so that just started building, and now it's like a little brand. It's Ally's Kitchen. It's Mama Ally. And it's not just food. It is lifestyle, longevity. People want to know what I do to be where I am at almost 77. Mm-hmm. It's like, what are you doing? Show me what you're doing. Tell me what so I share my life with people. I share Pop's life with people, and they see what we do. And, I'm a one woman show still. So, you know, I don't have a slick professional team, but I love what I do. And I have a talent agents now, and work with brands and have a pretty active website and, you know, close to 1 million followers. So not too
Yeah.
shabby. Yeah.
No, you're very good at what you do. You said, I think it's so cool that in your 60s, that was the decade that you truly got your stride in life. That has to give so much hope to so many people out there who are looking at their 60s as, slowing down, petering out, you're
Right.
coming in for a landing, that, maybe you're too late to take advantage of opportunities. Don't you think it's
Oh,
hopeful?
Beth, that you're spot on. I got my stride in my 60s. I knew what I was capable of. I had no idea at 20, 30, 40, even 50 how talented I was, how much energy I had, creativity, and what I had to share. People want value shared with them, value that makes their life more valuable every day, happier and more pleasant. And that is, something that a person in their 60s who has the inclination, it's okay to, do whatever you want if you just don't want to do anything. But I can't imagine not doing what I'm doing. Yes, I have a lot of grandchildren, but my goal was not to take care of my grandkids or to be the, online babysitter that everybody, looks to. And I do help out, but that's not what my lot in life was to be. Ben and I wanted to travel. We wanted to see the world. We had done a lot of traveling with his work. And so this, when you're in your 60s and beyond, and we've both been like little turtles, we've been very prudent about investing and saving and planning for the future. That's the way we were raised. Ben is the great generation. And you grew up during the Depression era and you save. So we planned well.
Hmm.
Neither of us came from anything. I mean, Ben grew up living with his grandma in an outhouse. People don't even understand what an outhouse is today. So we were able in our Ben was in his latter 60s then, but he's still working, serving on boards and doing things that just sap all this knowledge and
Hmm.
experience. And that's what I think I share.
Yeah.
So yeah, your 60s, you can really get your stride because I don't have to worry about money a lot of
Yeah.
time. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going out and buying Lear jets and, 200-foot yachts. Nah, that doesn't interest me.
Hmm.
I just I still clip coupons. I still refuse to throw away things unless there's mold growing on it. And I do challenge expiration dates because I ain't dead yet. And I've eaten a lot of things that are expired and people who've eaten with me have. So, so I do that with the same thing with dreams. Dreams have no expiration date. Don't let anybody put a cap on what you can dream, even if you're in your 80s and 90s. So that's why I say I really got my stride after 60, Beth.
Yeah. So you obviously have a lot of confidence. For someone who doesn't have that sense of confidence and maybe that ability to zero in on how they can use their gifts and abilities, how would you encourage someone like that who just is sitting there thinking, well, this is super Ally, but
Mhm.
I don't really have those kind of gifts?
That's a great question because I've been asked it before. And, I've always been a performer. I've always loved it. I was in little school plays and things like that. That was my passion, my talent. And that is what you do. You look at what do you love doing? And there are many things that you can do that you don't have to be before a camera or before people. Whatever you are passionate about and, find that and try to parlay it into something that brings joy to you. it doesn't have to be a website or a page on Instagram or a profile. It can be something in your community with your friends, whatever it is. You've got to just find what you're passionate about and if you want to do it. And if it's reading or knitting or crocheting or
Hmm.
sewing or whatever it is, there is so much joy out there in the world that you can bring to other people just by sharing what you are good at. And that's what I found my niche. And thank the Lord, there was a thing called Facebook and Instagram to let me reach people around the world
Yeah.
and not just, my geographical area.
Hmm.
So it was, I think you can do it, but it's really digging down
Hmm.
and then knuckling down. Does this really make me happy? Is this what I want to do? And if you
Yeah.
don't do it. But you got to be at peace with yourself, and you can't look at the other person and go, "Oh God, they're so lucky." No, they're not lucky. They work their ass off. Anybody who is good at something and makes it look easy and who has been successful, they work their asses off for years to get there.
Yeah, you're right.
So, yeah, yeah. So that's my mama talking.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
So you do advocate though to push out of your comfort zone,
hmm
complacency and routines. Explain why that's important, why that's a good thing.
I think it does a lot of things. It builds confidence. It helps your brain. You start firing neurotransmitters and chemicals in your brain. So it's good for the aging brain. It also gives you an opportunity to see something that you may not have realized that you really like. I do that with my little granddaughters with food. I'll go, Emmeline, just try it. If you don't like it, I'm just going to give you a teeny taste of it. If you don't like it, fine. But you'll never know. You will uh, put a boundary around your life that may make you less happy because you didn't experience this. So you got to be adventurous, but you have to do that with parameters too, with what's good and what's bad. But no, I do think that trying things and a little adventure. When I was turning 70, Beth, I decided that I would give myself 16 weeks before I turned 70, 4 months. I wanted to do something each week that would challenge me. And so I've got quite a few of the blog posts on my website. And it was called 16 Weeks to 70. That's a big number. It's like, I'm turning 70. Oh my gosh. And each week there was something new I did. And one of the most amazing things I did that I had never done that I didn't know I could do was I hiked a 14er in Colorado with my granddaughter.
Wow.
A 14er is 14,000 feet. There are quite a few 14ers in Colorado. And I've been an avid hiker, but it was like, can I do it? Am I able to do it? Because it's very, very tough. And I did it. Some of them were physical, some of them were just mental things. So that's the adventurous part of me. When we went to Hong Kong, it was like one of the delicacies was poisonous snake soup. And it's like, I am not traveling 10,000 miles and not trying poisonous snake soup. And we found, the guy that was our little foodie guy, he took us to this little hole in the wall joint, off the beaten track, just locals. And they brought it, and it was really nasty looking, I thought, with striations, and it was kind of like gelatinous, like a,
Uh,
uh,
I'm out.
and sitting around in this little cubby hole, it wasn't bigger than a bathroom, little restaurant, were these big, like they look like mahogany boxes with holes in them that were about the size of quarters, and they were stacked on top of each other. It looked like something out of Jewel of the Nile. And in these boxes, the guy opened it. He goes, oh, come over here. He opened it and it went, snakes came out. Ooh, yeah. the poisonous snakes. That was there. Yeah, stacks of them. I ate the whole bowl. I thought, this is pretty dang good when you put hot sauce and you crush up crackers in it.
Please tell me we don't have to go there and eat that to look like you, Allie. Just please tell me.
No, no. I thought, yeah, try it. We'll try it. The Great Wall of China. Uh, just seeing things. When we were in Cambodia, Pol Pot and the killing fields, and some people don't want to see that. I want to see it.
Hmm.
I want to experience it. Yes, it's painful, or it may be something that makes you feel
Yeah.
creepy. But these are things that make us stronger and more confident. And
Hmm.
I think that's just my opinion. I know
Yeah.
everybody has their own opinion, but that's how I continue to live life is, yeah, I'm going to take some risk. I'm not going to live my life. And I take calculated risk, Beth.
Hmm.
Uh, when I had a skiing accident at about 55, I said, that's it. No more for me. It's like I didn't start until I was 50. I really didn't like it. I just did it for Ben. And, I tore my ACL in my left knee. And I went, no, I'm not going to take another chance.
Yeah.
So I took up snowshoeing.
There
So,
you
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Well, as you said, you're focusing a lot on longevity now. Can you give us some of your best tips for a long life?
Oh, gosh. Well, I think there are some foundational things that we need to do. Getting old ain't for sissies, first of all.
Amen.
Yeah, no. You either make a plan to get older with grace and style and vibrancy, or nature will make you a humped over old woman walking with a shuffle with brittle bones and difficulties. And it takes work. That's a
Hmm.
good, that's why we retire, because we have to have time to stay healthy. Everything changes
Yeah.
starting at about, even 30 and 40, we don't have the gift of youth.
Hmm.
So you must eat the right food. Oh my gosh, food is so important. Food is medicine. And I must say, we eat very healthy, a Mediterranean diet primarily. We cook in most nights. We do go out sometimes, not often. But when we do, it's, you try to eat as healthy as you can, but everything, I fall off the wagon too. Maybe once or twice a year, I'll eat a whole bag of kettle chips. It's like, oh, give them to me. But food is so important. And I eat 3 square meals a day. Breakfast is very important. As a woman, I aim for 100 plus grams of protein a day. So the food, I grow a garden. I have herbs. I have a little garden. Not big. I don't have a tractor or anything. And I think the second thing is exercise. You have to exercise. I'm sorry, but you got to. And you got to do more than walking. Walking is wonderful. Cycling, those kinds of things, aerobics, but you got to lift weights. You got to have resistancy training. We lose muscle mass, bone density, and that's what causes the humped over shoulders
Yeah.
and the shuffle and the spine curvature and things like this. And then, so we belong to the YMCA, and I go uh, just about every day, 5 days a week. And, the monthly calendar comes out, and I give myself a little check. That's my little reinforcement. Yay, Allie, you got a check today. You went to Pilates class. Uh, so exercise is so important. Sleep is so important. I've always had no problem with sleep. I'm an early to bed and an early riser. So, usually, unless I've got something really strong on my mind and stress, I usually sleep pretty darn well. When you exercise and you eat well, your body knows that now it's time to sleep. Socialization is so important. You have to get out and do things and be with people, stay active. Our church is very important, our faith, being with family. I'm always planning something with friends. Hey, let's go do this or that, and girlfriends and calling people. And And then just for me, the social media, it's like I've got this whole, entourage of people that I'm connected to. And I think mindset is totally essential. Yeah, it's not easy getting older. And yeah, there are, you know, tough things out there, but you have to be smart and advocate for yourself. I watch my health. I'm not a fanatic, but I have complete blood panels done once a year with everything from my hormones to, it's much more than just a CBC panel. And
Yeah.
I track it. I've been doing it for 17 years. And I go, okay, my A1C has been 5.2 to 5.9 over the last 17 years. But when it hit 5.9, that's when I looked in the mirror and said, girl, do you want to be pre diabetic? Hell no. Then you know what you need to do. Stop eating those chips and cut back on your carbs, and you better figure it out. Otherwise, you will be, just at risk. So that's labs don't lie.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't want to know this, Beth, or maybe
Hmm.
some don't. I want to know. And I want to know in advance because I want to be able to do something because I have a
Sure.
lot of living to do. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, I think 60s and 70s are young and even 80s
Hmm.
because I'm getting near 80.
So you're doing a lot of things that are really stimulating your brain. I mean, just your daily life, just being on
Just my,
technology, doing all of that, your community, it's all very stimulating. Anything else to challenge your brain? I think that's a lot of the reason that people end up sliding into dementia, and if they don't keep constant stimulation going in their brain. Any
I think
suggestions as far as that goes, though?
Well, you've got to learn, learn or be left behind with technology. And almost everything is online now. You've got to learn that. I had to learn everything about the back end of a dashboard for my website. I've had to learn how to do some simple coding and, online with the cell phone and, that kind of work, even just how to pull up videos on your ring camera, on your cell phone. So
Yeah.
yeah, you have to stay up with technology. That is our
Hmm.
life now. If you don't, then I don't know who does it for you. Do you call your grandkids or your son or daughter or whatever? One of my things that I don't want to be is at the mercy. I don't want to be at the mercy of anybody. Yeah, I'll ask for help, but I think that is a very precarious uh, place to be. And I eat for freedom. The way we eat gives us freedom. And freedom is the ability to still drive, to wipe my own butt, to make my own bed, to do my own dishes, to live in my own house. These are things that give me freedom, the choices I'm making every day. And I know some people may not, agree with that or like it, but that's the way the world is moving. I've seen loved ones in situations that, I hope, I pray, I don't know what God has planned for me, but I want to be able to be as independent as I can for as long as I can. And that means planning for help when I need it and when we
Hmm.
need it. So that that's the way we live our life. And
Yeah.
if it's to be, it's up to me. And I know
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
nobody else is going to do it. And I have to be my strongest advocate. The world of information is so available to us. Just by that little cell phone
Hmm.
and asking it a question. Why do I have high cholesterol? Why am I on a medication? Why do I have heart disease? You know, you can ask it and
Yep.
you'll get all this information. It's like, yeah, I'm doing that. Yeah. I eat two sticky buns every morning with coffee. You know,
Yeah. And to top all this off, you're known for being joyful. How do you maintain your sense of joy, Allie?
my late brother, said, "You are always happy. Why are you always happy?
Did it make
Nothing
him
ever
mad?
happens." No, it was like, just, and, I said, I have the same crap in my life too. It's how I choose to look at it and react to it. I was in Pilates the other day. I walked by one of my favorite people. I said, Anita, how was your weekend? She said, Oh, Allie, it's terrible. I had a leak in my hot water heater. They came over. It wasn't even 7 years old and had to replace the whole darn thing. $1,600. I said, Anita, you were so lucky. She looked at me. Why was I lucky, Allie? Said, number one, you were there and you knew the leak. Number two, you could have not been there. It could have burst and you could have had all this water in your house. Then you would have had to call your homeowners. And then it would have been months, maybe, of repair, and you would have gotten a higher homeowner's bill. She looked at me. She had, you know, I'm damn glad it happened like that. That's how I reframe things, Beth, and I always have. It's like that's when I finally found forgiveness for my dad. It's like I reframed it, and you actually gave me some kind of bizarre gift, Dad, by leaving, by Mom being the rock that she was. Who would have known what would have happened had he lived? I don't know, but we turned out pretty darn good. And so I just reframe things in my head, Beth. And then I compartmentalize too. It's like, okay, you're in a compartment and I'm not worrying about you today. So you just stay there and I'll open you tomorrow. It's head games.
But it works.
It works. Yeah. Works for me. Yeah.
You talked about leaving a legacy, impacting others in your little corner of the world. Why is that important to you?
I think that the way things, tend to be going, especially I saw this with downsizing, and you see it with uh, the younger generations. They don't hold on to stuff, they don't hold on to things. They want the memories. They don't want the stuff and the baggage of life that builds up in the garage and the attic and the basement and closets and things like this. So, my legacy that I am leaving is primarily digital. And it is something that all of these grandkids and forever will have access to, and they can find. And if they ever want to see what Mama Allie looked like or Avi, when she was 70 or 50 or 40, they can go to, online and see these things. So I think a legacy is important for just knowing who you are and where you came from and what makes you who you are. And I think that we realize that more as we get older, and it grounds us. It helps us understand the grit and the guts we have and the burn in our belly. So some way I want to leave a little legacy for my family, for the kids, and this seems to be the best way to do it. And I know people do it in diaries and journals and things like that, and that's great, and pictures, and but everything's digital now. So your kids and your grandkids, they may open an old album, but most of it, is going to get tossed.
Yeah.
And the realization is that who we are and what we are and our time here on earth, after a couple of generations, that's it. Yeah. And that's why they have antique stores and junk stores. You walk by and you go, look at that little family. Gee, I wonder what happened. And that could be our family someday, your family. It's just a cycle of life.
Yeah.
That's reality. I'm very much a realist.
Well, Allie, we ask every guest, since the show is called Lessons from Living, if you consider all of the life lessons that you've gleaned so far, is there one that rises to the top for you? And I know we've covered a lot. today? It might be something we've already talked about, but is there something in particular that you just think this is just key for me?
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. And it's not hard for me to pull that out real quickly, Beth, because it was something that my mom said on her deathbed to me. And she was literally in her dying moments. And she looked at us girls and she said, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And we knew what she meant. And that it has been the one of the most impactful lessons I've ever learned in life. It's not being selfish, self-centered, uh, self-gratifying. If I'm not good, nobody else is good. If I'm not good for me, nobody else is good. So I've got to take care of myself. It's a sometimes a hard lesson for a woman because we are so, you know, always there for others and we tend to not take care of ourselves.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I tell, young women, take care of yourself because one day you will be old, God willing, and you may be by yourself. And taking care of yourself means knowing what your family finances are. You can't totally rely upon your husband and say, oh, he takes care of that. No, take care of yourself and know it all. And then that makes you stronger, more confident, and able to walk through these landmines of life.
That's beautiful. And that it covers everything, doesn't it? I mean, every aspect of our lives, you have to
Mm-hmm.
you have to think in those terms. So
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing. Well, I appreciate you going deep with me, Allie, because
Oh, you have been amazing. Thank you, Beth. It's
well,
like, yeah,
it's just
yeah.
important, I think, for people to see, especially when they look at someone who has been so successful, to realize that this person didn't spring from the womb fully formed.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
Mm-hmm.
evolution, and so I think it's really important that they recognize the trials that you've been through and how you successfully navigated them, and that you've come out on the other side an even stronger woman. So I appreciate you walking through all that with me.
Well, it has been a lot of joy and pleasure to talk to you, share that. Hopefully, whomever listens to this will pick up some little nuggets or slivers. And it's not easy. This has been my journey so far. And each of us has a backstory that makes us who we are.
Well, I know they will. How might people find out about all things Allie Phillips, Mama Allie?
Uh, well, let me toot
Well,
my horn.
do
Uh,
it.
yeah, do, 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 do. I have a website, allyskitchen.com. That's ALLYS, the word kitchen.com. And you can see all my social media links there, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, Facebook. I'm not on TikTok. Sorry, I had to draw the line somewhere.
Can only
And
do so much.
that's right. Only do so much, right? And so that's it. And then you can just I Googled myself and I look at stuff and I go, golly, where'd they pick that up? So yeah. So yeah, that's the big thing. And uh I'm grateful for every follower and people that do follow me. I try to give them value, Beth, that will make their lives maybe just a little bit better. So yeah, I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to bellyache. So don't come follow me if you want to whine and bellyache, because I'm Pollyanna.
You do. It's an awesome. Your whole little atmosphere out there is very awesome. I've enjoyed it already. So
Thank you. Thank you.
thanks again for your time today. This has been a joy. I hope I get to meet you in person one day. That would be super
You
fun.
too. And we're not far from each other, so
I
that
know,
could
I know.
happen. That's
Okay,
right. Okay, Beth.
that would
Thank
be
you.
exciting. Have a
Okay.
good day.
Okay.
Isn't she something, friends? I knew you'd enjoy hearing from Ally. Ally, thanks again for sharing so vulnerably with us. You're the best. I hope to see you in South Carolina one day. In the meantime, I'm happy to have you as a new friend. Okay, this one reminded me of Ally. Joy is a net of love by which you can catch souls. Thanks to Mother Teresa for that one. I love you, friends. Go out and make it a great day.